Yo,
Hey, welcome to the new meta, episode 157.
1-5 Severino. That's not a word.
Severino? Sure it is.
Yeah. So everything's fine this week, right?
Yeah, it's a good week, man.
Yep.
It's a really good week, especially if you wear blue.
Totally.
Yeah.
We knew this was gonna happen. Like the last podcast, we're like, well, this is not gonna be the last week we're gonna talk about this issue.
Yeah.
And things are blowing up as we speak.
Yeah, it's crazy. This is one of those things where it's like you don't want to talk about it, but you kind of gotta talk about it.
Why wouldn't you want to talk about it?
It's not positive news.
Okay.
I mean, you know, it's not the kind. Well, okay, so yeah, it's not that I don't want to talk about it. It's just not. This isn't what I want to be talking about.
Sure.
I'd rather talk about
video games,
cool things. Yeah.
Okay.
You know,
I hear you.
Yeah.
I get it. You misogynistic asshole. I get it.
Just get the broom out, sweep it on. Wait, I'm sorry, Jay Allen.
Goddamn.
Listening. So.
But yeah. So what's going on with you, man? You know,
not a whole lot. Just same old stuff. I'm ramping up to start my new gig soon.
When does it start? Do you know? Do you have a start date yet?
I don't officially have a start date, but it should be. I think Friday we're going to determine that. So very, very close.
Okay.
The background process is so slow. Like they hire a third party vendor to do it, and it's just like they'll call me one day, or they have like a little thing you can log into, and I'll go check it, and they'll like make progress in like one section a day, basically. Okay. And it's just like, well, are you guys like super slow or what? Like, just get this done.
It's Microsoft.
Dude.
Of course they're slow, right?
Yeah, they're so slow, dude. So, but well, it's not them; it's the third party that they're using.
Okay.
So, but yeah, man. So that's really it with me. Not a whole lot really to report on.
Right on.
How about you? What's been going on in the Fluffville? Look like you just got done playing some amazing kickball, man.
How can you tell? Is it the muscles or is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
It's you just got that look like I just kicked the shit out of a kickball.
No, it's hilarious. It's the team is like composed of medical professionals. They're just there drinking, having a good time. So everyone that I played with on my team is like either they're a girl that's never played a day of sports in their whole life, or they're like a very feminine homosexuals, which is great. I think that's a great team combo, and it just makes for some hilarious moments. Like today, we had a guy run the third, and he like overran third, like you would to first, because he just didn't know that was like
you can't do that. Yeah, it's only like, first you get that.
Yeah,
privilege.
It's just hilarious. So like just stuff like that happens all the time, and it makes for some fun moments. But adorable. But yeah, and then I surgery's happening in less than 2 weeks now. So
2 weeks, yeah.
August 18th.
So we got this pod, and then we got next week's pod, which will be
the day after
my
surgery.
That's the 12th. Right?
Yeah.
When your surgery is
the 18th.
18th. So yeah, so the 19th pod not happening. Play it by ear.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll
see. Probably unlikely.
Yeah.
But maybe. If you're feeling good, then maybe.
Yeah.
I would say probably unlikely. But.
I don't know. I think that I think the only thing that makes it unlikely, it's like I feel like I'll be able to stream and like that'll be no problem because like my right hand works and I'll be able to click stuff. I think it just like making the schedule will be like annoying because I'd be like, hunting and pecking with the right.
Trying to push stuff in. Well, it's on top of that, and that's just assuming everything goes smooth. You could have pain, you could be drugged up and still be loopy. So
I don't take drugs. I don't do that. I'm not about
no
that
drugs.
Okay. I didn't take shit when I got my face, all that plastic surgery I got when I got my septum fixed. So
yeah, I thought it was gonna look a little bit better, honestly, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I'll get a refund or something.
Can you get some money back?
Put more plastic in here, please.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so before we kind of dive deep and tear apart Blizzard for the next hour, I figured we could jump into what's going on with D3 season and kind of take a quick.
What's that poll?
Oh yeah, you're right. I'll allow it. All right, so last week we asked, which is worse, turning in your challenge rift before the season starts, or turning in your challenge rift in softcore instead of hardcore on accident. And it looks like the results are in, and it is true. 58.1% of the vote says PChild's a fucking idiot.
No, that's totally that's totally rigged, man. How many times did you vote on that?
Pull the vote man, I had to.
You probably.
I can't even vote on these, and it's so frustrating.
You had everybody go vote on that.
No.
Yeah,
I didn't even make it biased, dude.
I don't agree. I disagree.
Of course you disagree, because you're the idiot that lost. I mean, it's pretty close still. We both made a really stupid play, but obviously yours is way worse. Obviously.
Yeah, maybe. So next week's poll is the season that I turned mine in early, or the season that you did yours in the wrong character.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So
so guys,
right, what do we got?
Be smart with your challenge risk at the end. That's what we're trying to teach you guys. At the end of the day,
we did this honestly for science.
These
were strategically planned. They weren't. We made it look. We did a good job of acting. Make that look like it was.
An
accident.
Totally believable.
Honestly.
Yeah. The answer goes to me. And then next week's poll is going to be very topical, and we're going to dive into it. But New Meta Podcast question of the week: are you done with Blizzard games after all of the recent news? Option 1, yes, fuck Blizzard. Option 2, no, we demand action. Option 3, still playing. Tweeting that out.
Yes, fuck Blizzard, huh?
I assume whoever says yes would also share that sentiment.
I agree with you.
So
it's just funny, man. This is gonna be we're gonna get into some F Blizzard in a minute, but look, let's go to the season. That's what we were about to hit up.
So I figured we just do a quick rundown of who's the top of boards and what builds at the top of the boards. So starting with the best class in the game, the Necromancer. It looks like Corpse Explosion is actually rank 1 LOD with 3K Paragon hitting a 138 already. Let me see this weapon. Woo. God dang.
I don't know how fun that would be.
It's only a 175 curse effect too. It's crazy.
The Rift Guardian would suck on that setup.
Yeah.
That would not be fun.
True.
At all.
LOD cooldown, baby.
Do it,
Yeah. And so that's Necro. Barbarian is at a 143.
Okay.
Whirlwind? Yep.
Whirlwind is what it looks like. Yeah. With waist, shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's, again, probably lagging the game all to hell. F-mod.
4.2K Paragon already.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That is nutty. Let's see. So the Bar Crusader is 140 with an LOD. Wait, is this Lawn Bomb?
Looks at the belt. Is that belt of the trove? It's hard for me to see.
Yeah, it is. Lawn Bomb. Okay, it's back. Or I guess it's Lod Bomb now, but
yeah. Oh, that was kind of back when they buffed it a couple seasons ago, right?
Mm-hmm. So, god dang. 2.8K Paragon. Demon Hunter is at a 145.
Yo, there's no doubt what that is.
God
DH, baby. It's gotta be God DH. Yeah. Again, it's hard for me to see. It looks like it. Hover over the helm. What's the helm?
Dystopian?
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Yep. 4K Paragon. And then we got the old Monk at 145. With that crazy
Legacy.
Yeah. LOD.
Is it
Wave of Light?
Yeah. Probably.
Okay. I like it. 3.6K Paragon. And then a Witch Doctor, 142. Like with Moon to Nugu.
Gotta be one of the Nugos. Yeah. Like there's no other set they could even use. So
that's a 3K
that's
Paragon.
Not bad though. Yeah. 142 is not bad.
And finally, 148 on the Wizard with Firebird.
Firebirds with that new weapon, baby.
God damn. That's strong. They're 3.5K.
Using captains and all golds, it looks like. That's disgusting.
Ooh, that's strong. Okay.
Yep. Crazy.
I thought Monk is what everybody's playing, but Wizard, man. Holy crap.
Wizards, that set's super powerful, and then you just juiced it up with the Ethereal, so The one that jumps out to me is the Barb set. The Barb set pushing up that his Paragon was really nutty too, 4K.
Yeah, it's so, maybe might be pretty easy to be a robot and do whirlwind.
What are we talking about? That's my brother, Chris.
Wow, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, his name's Chris.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Of course it is.
Chris.
And then if we look at the 4-man meta, they're already, of course, doing 150s speed farm in 7 minutes for the rank 1. And it looks like a support Barb, what is this? Like a support DH? Looks like.
Probably, yeah.
And then an Inez. There's also support. What? And then it's just a wizard literally doing everything? Oh my god. 3 supports and a wizard for 7-minute clear.
Good, man.
Wizard must be insane.
That damn, dude.
Yeah. Firebird Wiz, that's where it's at. I had no idea. Firebird. But I also haven't really been following too much because of the POEs. But you know,
we're going to talk about some POEs, but let's let's stay on the Blizzard subject. Let's
start diving in.
Let's jump into this rabbit hole, man.
So much that has happened this past week, and I assume next week it's going to be probably the same thing.
Yeah, I would imagine so. So there's so many things to talk. It looks like right now you have up the HR article, which is the second one, but we can
Jesse
do that
Mashuk.
first. Yeah, Jesse is out.
Gone. And he's just no longer with the company is what Activision had to say about it.
Yeah,
that's it.
It says he's no longer with the company. It doesn't really clarify if he quit or was canned or was asked to leave. Or I assume he was
probably forced out. He's one of the guys that's in the Cosby Suite photo, and yeah. And
so the thing, so I did research into the Cosby photo a little bit, like not a lot, but a little bit, because I'm just like, how are you that stupid to do that picture? And apparently that photo was taken in like 2010, and Cosby didn't get outed until like 2015, I think, is when Cosby got his shit blown up. So there could be a very small chance that that picture was taken just as like, oh, this is Bill Cosby, let's get a photo. Not like, this is Bill Cosby, look what he did, let's get a photo. Maybe. I don't know. That's all the research I did. I was like, those timetables are kind of weird there. But it definitely looks bad right now, knowing what we know about Cosby. So,
yeah.
But that's kind of crazy, man. So, but yeah, this article just says he's no longer with the company,
and that the HR was basically like a huge problem, huge part of the problem, I guess, was some of this frat boy culture, and with a HR rep reportedly told one employee to quote unquote suck it up because they were quote acting like a brat.
Yeah.
Another told her Axios said after she was assaulted by a male colleague, the HR rep took his side, telling her to work from home or to switch departments. He's really sorry and he really wants to work at Blizzard. And he says you were really friendly with him.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I guess that's, he's really friendly with you. You should totally let him do what he wants, I guess. Like, that's so horrible, fucked. Man. That's super fucked, dude. I don't even know how how do you document that? Like, don't they document this? Like, most companies, if you bring something to HR, there's a paper trail that would, what are they writing in this in these paper trails?
Yeah, I doubt we'll ever have like full insight on that, but yeah.
Yep. It's crazy.
And this is literally just step one. So buckle up. It's going to get deep. Obviously Jab has stepped down.
Yeah, if you didn't know who Jab is, J. Allen Breck took over as the CEO
after Mike Morhaime.
After Mike Morhaime stepped down. I think that was 2018. It happened actually right at BlizzCon 2018, or right around that time, because I remember the whole on stage, kind of handing of the torch ceremony thing they did. And Jab came from WoW. He was, what was it? Do you remember his role at WoW? I don't remember exactly.
Have I ever cared about WoW? No.
I don't know. He did something with WoW, but Um, yeah, it's kind of nutty. The weird thing is though, is so Jab is gone. He stepped down.
Yeah.
Obviously forced out more than likely.
Mhm.
But they're doing this co-leadership thing with Jen O'Neill and Mike Ybarra.
Mhm.
Yeah. And they're going to be co-leaders. And the thing that jumps out to me is you have two people there, not three. So there's no majority like, oh, I think we should go this way, or I think we should go that way. When you have a duel, it's just like, well, what if you guys don't agree? Who wins? Who's the head dog? Like, I feel like that's gonna ultimately not last long or cause problems. But
I also like we don't know what I don't like here. Obviously, and Activision Blizzard's not going to say shit probably, but like, okay, so Jab stepping down, and now it's that question of like, well, is he stepping down of his free will, or like, was he like fully in the know and like didn't do shit?
Yeah, is he part of the problem, or was he?
And the only thing that we have from Brack is he says, quote, "I'm confident that Jen O'Neill and Mike Ybarra will provide the leadership Blizzard needs to realize its full potential and will accelerate the pace of change. I anticipate they will do so with passion and enthusiasm, and that they can be trusted to lead with the highest levels of integrity and commitment to the components of our culture that make Blizzard so special." But like, when was the last time Blizzard culture was good? So like, I don't know. I feel like that's even a weird line to say.
Well, there's a lot that goes into it. So some of the outtake from this is that Mike's like an avid WoW player, and he actually has completed all the mythic dungeons at 20 plus in this season already, which is a good sign if you're a WoW player, because like the guy clearly plays the game. Whereas did Jab ever play WoW? Like, really? Like in the last couple of years? I don't know. But to do all 20s, like, you could get carried through all 20s, but if you're completing that this early in the season, you're probably contributing to some point. That means he's a good WoW player. Like, he's not garbage. Like, this guy is above your average player by a huge margin, I would think. That could be really good, because if he plays the game that much, then he's obviously knows the shortcomings of it and would be like, this system's trash. That system's trash. Let's get in here and fix some of this shit.
Sure.
So for me, being a WoW fanboy, that kind of gives me a little hope that at least he's at least good at the game, at least one of Blizzard's games. I don't know a whole lot about Jen O'Neill, but yeah, man, it's super weird. I think a lot of this stuff probably happened before Jab was even president, though. Like, these accusations are going way back. Mm-hmm. So I kind of feel like he's also just like the fall guy for some of this shit, because he took over in 2018 when the Immortal announcement happened and BlizzCon didn't have anything to show us. Because kind of was like he stepped into this "you're about to fail, bud" scenario, where it's like, what do you really expect him to do when you hand the torch over? And that's that thing. But yeah, we don't know. So
but let's just keep going.
Yeah, the rabbit hole.
Yeah, guys, buckle up. Activision loses T-Mobile sponsorship for the Overwatch Call of Duty esports leagues. Obviously, this looks terrible for Blizzard. So
amazing.
Sponsors are dropping out.
T-Mobile's like, get fucked, I'm gone. That's crazy, man. They lost Pink, dude. That's got to be some big money, I would imagine. Oh, yeah. Like, T-Mobile's big money. So, and then with the other stuff that's hit Overwatch in the past year, it's kind of like, not a good thing. I'm surprised. I don't know what all sponsors they actually have on the boat. I don't watch Overwatch league stuff that much, or professional Overwatch that much.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder how much sponsorship plays a part in their players' salaries and tournaments and all the stuff. But this could be really detrimental to them if T-Mobile was fronting a huge chunk of the bill to have T-Mobile plastered all over their jerseys and banners everywhere and stuff. So it sucks, man.
According to California Department of Fair Employment and Housing, J. Allen Brack was named in the lawsuit for knowing and enabling the alleged behavior.
Yikes.
Mm-hmm. Which is weird. Like, I don't know if that's true and there's any like truth to that. Like, you don't let J. Allen Brack make a fucking statement that says, "I'm confident that the Jen O'Neill and Mikey Bart," like, fuck that guy. Like, you just fucking fire him. You don't give him a chance to have like a platform.
He stepped down too. He didn't get fired. Quotes. You know what I mean? Like obviously he was stepped down because they told him to. But you know, I don't. If he's in the know, you want to see like we fired him. Like we don't want to see he stepped down. We want to see we canned his ass. You know,
that guy pressing charges too. And then Activision Blizzard made an official statement which said the lawsuit included, quote, distorted and in many cases false descriptions of Blizzard's past.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they've backtracked a little bit on calling it BS. They must have like got some of the legal notes or something and been like, "Yo, you guys are pretty screwed here. You might not want to say that it's false." You know, because I feel like they've backed up a little on that.
Yeah, but it keeps going.
Yep.
So they're also in a class action lawsuit from investors because basically Blizzard knew that these things were going down. Obviously in HR, like there's records probably of some of these complaints and stuff like that, and they didn't disclose this information whatsoever. You know, they just kind of like swept it under the rug and hid it from investors, and so they're facing legal action there because they didn't disclose that information and how much turmoil internally was actually happening, which would cause stock to, now plummet.
I wonder if some of this is related to all the people leaving in the last year or so too.
Maybe.
I mean, we've seen people bailing from the ship, left and right. And it's like
insider trading, but leaving a company instead.
Yeah, it's just like, we know what's about to go down.
Yeah.
I need another job somewhere, peace. So, or maybe they were sick of the culture. Maybe they were like, this is ridiculous, man.
True.
It's not changing them out. So
true. But we keep going.
Mm-hmm.
This is one that you posted. I actually didn't get a chance to read this one before.
Yeah, this is just kind of like the downfall over the last 3 years. This is kind of like a timeline.
Okay.
And it kind of goes through the history. So it's interesting to go back and read this and just be like, damn, dude, like this is insane.
Okay, so 2018, players are pissed about BFA. Mike Morhaime steps down. Diablo Immortal fucking obviously was that whole shit show. Blizzard unexpectedly kills Heroes of the Storm pro scene. And then boom, 2019, former Blizzard employee says HR did nothing to stop racist bullying.
Crazy.
Blizzard lays off 800 employees. We all remember that.
Yeah.
Frank Pierce stepped down. Blizzard bans. Oh yeah, the Liberate Hong Kong thing.
Hong Kong thing, yeah.
Yeah, free Hong Kong. Man. Free speech protests take over BlizzCon 2019. We were there. We saw that.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And boom, 2020, Warcraft 3 Reforged was a mess.
Yeah, totally great launch.
Yep.
Remember that? Yeah.
Hearthstone Pro claims he'd been blacklisted by Blizzard after his wife was laid off. Blacklisted and competing in official tournaments because his wife, Christina McConan, was one of 800 employees who was laid off in 2019 and publicly criticized Blizzard multiple times on social media. According to McConan, Savage was blacklisted after she criticized a community manager on Twitter for advertising a job opening back in July. Huh.
Yeah. I kind of remember.
I mean, I can relate to that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like you laid a bunch of people off and they're like, hey, we're needed a community manager. Like, wait, you just laid me off. For that.
Right.
The hell? So.
And Alex Afrasiabi quietly leaves Blizzard.
Yeah, he was one of the people that was directly named in the discrimination thing and the lawsuit stuff. And he actually had characters in, you can see if you scroll down, there's a picture of his character in World of Warcraft.
Okay.
Which they've removed from the game apparently now already. So next. Yeah.
Blizzard employee share spreadsheet documenting.
Well, look at the line his character in game says, "Move along, citizen. There's nothing to see here."
Nice. Jesus.
Oh my God, dude.
Blizzard employees share spreadsheet documenting salaries and protests over low pay, which we're actually going to get into in a minute. So not paying people what they should be getting paid, and they get away with it because it's Blizzard. But I don't know that it's that that's pretty common. Like if low salaries for companies that are prestigious. because they know that like you want their company name on the resume, so you might be willing to take a little bit less.
A little less, yeah.
That's a pretty common.
And there's also experience and other things that make a difference in that document as well that may not be disclosed. But yeah, I for general, I get it.
2021, Blizzard hires controversial Trump and Bush era government officials. Francis Townsend. Cool. Jeff Kaplan quits back in April, which we covered. And now they're being sued.
Yeah.
For a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, that's 3 years. That's 3 years of things.
Didn't even include the play Diablo on Switch to win a Diablo.
Yeah, they should have had that. That's like my favorite, personally.
It really is.
Tweet a photo of you playing Diablo on Switch, and you can win a Diablo on Switch.
But apparently, you know, internally, a lot of people that work for Blizzard were not happy with basically what's been done so far. So they reject the CEO's choice of a law firm. A coalition of workers across multiple Activision Blizzard development studios, calling itself the ABK Workers Alliance, has sent a joint letter to Activision CEO Bobby Kotick and his executives criticizing their decision to hire the law firm WimmerHale as the third-party auditor to review the company and ensure a healthier workplace. So they're not happy about their choice.
Yeah. You know, it's
good on you.
I don't even
keep on
yeah,
it internally, dude.
I don't even know what to. I don't even know where to go with it. You know, it's just this is gonna be crazy. Like the impact this is gonna have on like all the game. Like I play so many Blizz games. Like you got Diablo 3 is probably not really going to be affected by this a lot, I would imagine. Like, you know, they have a relatively small team and they're just doing their updates. So that's probably going to continue their flow, their cycle. Maybe get delayed a little bit. Diablo 4 is probably could hugely be affected by this.
Totally. I mean, any future
like
Blizzard
hugely.
game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
And then World of Warcraft, hugely affected by this.
Yeah.
Overwatch, probably hugely affected by this. You know, so I just don't. Man, I don't see a win for Blizz on this ever, and like this is huge, man. This is gonna probably set back games, if not. I can't imagine they'll get canceled. Like, you know, I don't ever see we'll just see how far the rabbit hole goes, but I don't see a time where it's like D4 canceled because of blah blah blah. Like that'd be nutty.
Dude,
but
I don't know. Because like what is this, so all this stuff, right? Like this is not minor shit, dude. So like what does this mean for Diablo? Obviously, you know, the future developments in jeopardy right now. All current development is completely halted, and you know the stock is plummeting by the second. And I mean, I think the future of Blizzard is definitely questionable here. And I know that a lot of, you know, gamers and you know, big names are kind of speaking out against Blizzard, and that obviously doesn't look good for them. And in the midst of, you know, having a really stale, you know, Diablo 3 scene, a very stale World of Warcraft scene. They're
in trouble right now. They're in some big trouble.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Activision, if we had to look at money makers, I would imagine. So I read some article, and I think they said that Blizzard right now has like 26 million monthly active users, somewhere in those lines. And we'll have to see what that plummets to. But yeah, man, it could be crazy. It could definitely delay things a lot. I wonder how much value there is behind the Diablo and WoW IPs. If like Activision, after all the dust settles and Activision pays off $1 billion fines, if they're like, okay, like we're absorbing Blizzard, it's now just Activision, whatever, but we're going to keep finishing these games. We're going to hire new teams. Like, I don't know. This could crazily just change the way the game is, though. Think about if key people keep leaving. Like, we already lost some of the higher ups in Diablo 4 team already.
Yeah.
Like, if the dust settles and a lot more of those people are gone, then the direction of the game could drastically shift, you know, for good or worse. I mean, it could be a good thing, too. You know, we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. I mean, best case scenario is like this shakes up Blizzard and I don't know, they create something better.
That's what I honestly, I kind of feel that way about WoW because, you know, it's one of my favorite games of all time. And it's like, it's been really bad the last 2 expansions. Like the last 4 years of WoW have been pretty bad, and I'm excited that at least that the new CEO is an avid WoW player. Like, it gives me hope that, like, okay, this guy's gonna know what's wrong, and like, but he would also have to come out. If he comes out and is like, yo, I love retail WoW, then I'm like, shit. You know what I mean? Like, this guy's not my guy. But if he came out and was like, man, I really miss the roots we had in like TBC or Wrath of the Lich King or something like that, then I'd be like, yo, this is my dude. You know what I mean? Like, he's gonna.
I mean, I don't get it. I don't get that mentality. At the end of the day, I hate that. I hate that so much. We see that in game after game after game. It's like, oh, if the game had just never changed from its original,
No.
I'd
I'm
still
not
love
saying
the
it
game.
should change. It has to change. It has to grow, but not to that they took the MMO part out of the game. They made it anti, like, you don't have to be in a guild. You don't have to communicate with anybody. Like, servers don't mean anything anymore. You don't have to communicate with anybody. It's an insta queue system. Log in, press a button, pull a menu up, queue up for whatever activity I want to do, and like, don't ever leave my cozy little house over here. I'm chilling. And like, I think that's the aspect of the game. Not so much that, like, and the toughness of the game. Like, TBC is unforgiving. Classic is unforgiving. Like, if you die, it's like, it sucks, man. You're like, this is horrible.
It's because mechanics are really good and really difficult, or just like you're like the net of what you're able to do to like combat bad like pulls or something like that.
I think they dumbed down the game and made it easier and less punishing for mistakes to appease to a more casual audience. You know what I mean? Like, here's an example. If you died in vanilla in MC, the first raid in WoW Classic or WoW Vanilla, then it was like a 10-minute run back. Like, you wiped and now it's a 10-minute run back. You die in retail WoW, okay, somebody reses on site, because every class has like some kind of Ankh or soulstone or something to get back to life, and then do a mass res, because every class has a mass res that reses the entire raid with the push of a button. And it's like, okay, 15 seconds later you're rebuffed and you're pulling again. Or in MC, it's like, if you wipe, man, that's a 20-minute time sink you just lost. And so it mattered. It mattered. No, but it makes it more rewarding to accomplish things. I don't know, man. It's a completely different game. But that's just one example of hundreds that I can just sit here and rattle off. So I just like the older mentality of prior expansions versus the new insta queue, solo queue, and they took away the MMO part of it. Raids are still phenomenal in WoW. That's something they've never fucked up. Like, they've always had good raids, but the world content and everything else is just kind of meh. It's not there. So anyway, I hope that this guy is an avid player and he's like, let's make it good, man.
Well, I mean, how much? Okay, he was already really high up, right? Like, he's basically under Jab before in the World of Warcraft department. I think he already probably had. Like, I doubt Jab was like, no, you can't do that. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Maybe,
but we'll find out now. Like, now it's on him. I guess he's the
already
dog,
was,
right?
So I don't know. Hard to say.
So,
and then this fantastic article says there was a booth set up at like a hackathon, and Blizzard had a booth set up, and so she approached the booth and asked about, she would love a job at Blizzard, and and one of the employees ended up asking her the last time that she was personally penetrated, if she liked being penetrated, and how often she got penetrated, because it was like a penetration test that they were doing, which is like a security thing.
Cool. Totally inappropriate, dude.
Yeah. Or the frat boy culture.
Yeah.
Blizzard. I can't even imagine like a universe where you're at like a professional event and you make a joke about penetration. Yeah, okay, that's the name of like the thing. But you don't like in a professional environment, like, why would you ever?
Why do you think you're not going to get in trouble for that?
No.
You know what I mean? Like, who would,
Especially as a man to a woman, like, or even vice versa, right? Like, it's so fucking stupid. Like, maybe in some weird universe, like, you and I are on the side and we make a joke, whisper to each other, because we've known each other for like, what, 10, 20 years or something. Maybe acceptable-ish, but you're still at your job, so probably not.
Right.
But like, fucking to someone you don't know, they just like came up to your booth. You're like, when was the last time you got penetrated? And then you're like, pound it, bro. Good one. Like fucking idiots.
Yeah. Yeah. I could see if you're buddies with somebody on a panel and like you two are having a conversation amongst yourselves that I would hope you're quiet enough other people can't hear.
Right.
But yeah, man, that's pretty stupid.
So fucking dumb. And then this one I think is the most interesting of all. And I don't know if you saw it when I threw this up there. So Brandy Nevilist came out with like a giant blog. And I think this one's really interesting. And I read quite a bit of her take on, more specifically her take on BlizzCon 2018. Because that was like a big thing. And she goes into talking about how, you know, basically she knew how the community was going to react, you know, because she was very in touch with the community as a, you know, community manager for like a decade. Obviously she knew that Immortal was not going to go over well, and that, you know, the video that she ended up, you know, being in that kind of psyched people up and debated people right into like buying a ticket, and like, you know, I guess that got torn apart and it was basically nothing like what she'd originally intended it to be. And then she even talked about how, you know, she was left on the floor with like the haters and she felt like threatened, and there was no like help from Blizzard on that front, basically. Which I get. Like, I was there. It was a hostile environment, and, you know, as someone that was in Brandy's line, I don't know that anyone was taking that hostility out on her, but I could definitely see that, like, obviously all that negative energy would take its toll. And but she even talks about how, like, she went to counseling for all of this afterwards, because it really, I could imagine, you know, between her, you know, being kind of the face of that video and people kind of like shitting all over that and like saying it was debating and like, you made me buy a ticket to BlizzCon 2018 and that was like a fucking shit show. You guys shouldn't even had a BlizzCon, and like going after her. And I remember her tweeting out stuff like, you know, she would get emails about like, you're a piece of shit and blah, blah, blah. And like, that all really fucking sucks.
The amount of shit that we got, it probably pales in comparison to what she was getting, and we got it. I mean, still to this day, we still get fucking Immortal jokes.
Of course, I still get Immortal jokes.
Yeah, I mean, I do too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I do too. So, and it's like three fucking years ago. You know, so it's, you know, I can see that.
People are still actively commenting on my BlizzCon 2018 video. Like, it's still like at least a dozen a week. So I mean, it's no small deal, and so it's unfortunate. And then she goes on to talk about how you know, she really wanted to move to kind of like, she was into like lore, and she wanted to like write for maybe internal lore teams, and, you know, internally people were telling her like, oh, you'd be perfect for that, you should apply. And then when she finally applied, she basically got like rejected immediately, which is odd, obviously. Like, I think even for me, I didn't get rejected immediately. I think it took a couple days. And then, you know, she was supposed to get basically a internal like disposition about why she got rejected and what she could do to like improve and like try again and stuff like that. And she never got that. And just like goes on to talk about how, I mean, it kind of goes on in a sense that strikes me as like, well, she kind of felt like she deserved a better position. I think that probably a lot of people within Blizzard would agree with that too. The part that I struggle a little bit with here, and me and Brandy obviously didn't see eye to eye a lot. And so, you know, obviously the culture of Blizzard was shitty, and that's terrible. But, you know, from someone who's on the outside and was very much on the outside of like the Blizzard community before like Brandy left and like a new team was brought in, hearing like some of the stories about her, like, you know, like, so she is talking about how she was part of a toxic culture, but I also think that she also kind of created a bit of a toxic culture. I think, you know, I heard lines of her saying like, I know I have the power to like make or break streamers, stuff like that. So
yeah, I've heard that too.
I mean, I don't know. I think that there's some self-reflection that probably, I'm sure like all of that weighed on her too. But I think it's unfortunate that
I think you and I have a really good insight to some things.
Sure.
On that I don't think that it's air dirty laundry time, but there is definitely self-reflection that's needed for a lot of people.
Sure.
You know what I mean? In that circle. So
yeah.
But I read the whole blog, and I shared some of the sentiment that you just described, where it's kind of like, well, but then also a lot of it, I was like, yeah, man, that's pretty fucked up, So, it's interesting. I think something that even myself is going through the process that I'm going through, getting my new job. I think the impact that these guys have over somebody's life, like if you're in charge of hiring or promoting or filling a position, you have so much influence over the course of somebody's life that it's crazy. And like, to you, that's your job. You might do it all day. If you're a recruiter or you're in charge of hiring to fill a position, you get all these people that are so eager to get that job, and you kind of blow it off. Like,
Sure.
oh no, I took 15 seconds to look at, or maybe not even that, to look at somebody's resume and then throw it in the garbage.
Sure.
And it's like, that's their life. You just threw in the garbage for 15 seconds,
Yeah.
So that process kind of bothers me. And my experience from it right now is I've literally been spending the last 3 months getting this job, and it's been like, and I got it, man. I should be happy. But at the same time, I've just been sitting here waiting, checking my email, checking my phone, checking my email, checking my phone, like all day, every day, just waiting for a call back, just to be like, yo, what's the next step? You know what I mean? And it's crazy, man. It's how much power these guys have, and they don't respect it, I guess.
Right.
Respect it to the other people. So that's a huge
Sure.
issue that I've seen just in my own experiences, even this week,
And I'm not trying to sit here and take away from the stuff that she posted, because what she posted is very real and it's her own experience. And she talks about how, the culture is just not good, and
yeah,
she didn't feel welcome, and, all that stuff. And I think that it's interesting in her take, because I think that she also maybe did the same. Maybe that was because it was coming down on her. And so she's like, well, I'm going to come down on other people and just get caught up in all that negativity. But
yeah, I agree.
It's easy to be 100%. Like, oh yeah, they're doing this terrible culture, but like, you also might be doing it too. So like, everyone should kind of take a minute and step back. But that's just my 2 cents. But after all that is said and done, after we're gonna shit talk Blizzard, and I know this is not going to be the last week that we're going to talk about this. We know that next week there's probably going to be even worse. Like, we got huge people stepping down.
Yeah,
we've got stories coming out left and right. Yeah, and people like Brandy making a post, like, and that's huge amounts of insight just in that post alone. And like, we didn't do it justice. Like, it's very long. So if you guys have,
you should go read it. If you haven't read it, you should definitely go read it. It's I was, as soon as I saw it, like I saw it a couple days ago or whenever it was posted, and I read the whole thing, and I was, it was definitely insight to Vince that we were at BlizzCon 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Fluff and I were there. Like, we were front and center. Like, we were standing next to her in the line to ask the questions and stuff. So like, reading it from the other perspective is pretty interesting.
Yeah,
for sure.
totally.
You definitely should at least read it.
And there's definitely something to that, like the being the scapegoat, right? Like she 1000% was definitely the scapegoat for that video.
Yeah.
Wyatt Cheng was 1000% scapegoat for Diablo Immortal.
That's what I was gonna say. Her and Wyatt were like, here you go, set him up, hang him up to dry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
it's awful, and that has to weigh on you like a ton, right?
Yeah. And Wyatt even reached out to you and was like, and was like apologizing to you basically about it, and
that's what I
could you imagine being in that scenario? Yeah.
Like,
could you imagine being in that scenario?
Genuinely sweet individual, right?
Yeah. He's just hung out to dry, and then he's apologizing to you.
And that's what sucks too. And we talk about that week after week after week, is like, Wyatt has done so much for like Blizzard games. He's done so much for Diablo, period. And at the end of his career, like, a lot of people are going to look back and be like, oh, he's the, like, don't you guys have phones guy, instead of like the guy that did like literally just oodles amount of work for the game that we know and love.
For everything. Yeah.
And that's sad to me. I've even brought that up to him, and he's just like, he's like, well, I don't care. Like, I'm just trying to make
a Blizzard
game for as many.
My boy Wyatt hooked it up. We're going to talk about it in a little bit.
Okay. What's up?
Why it came through? Did I put it in the sky? I may even throw it in here. I forgot. Okay. Yeah, it's in there, kind of. But yeah, we'll just jump to it. Why it got controller support for Immortal?
Wait, officially?
Officially.
Really?
Officially, it's in the thing. We'll hit it when we get to the D2 Immortal thing. We'll talk about it.
But yeah, and so other news. This doesn't really mean much because we can't have any insight into like what this truly means. But basically, Diablo 4 pushed an update to the CDN, and then went from version 0.0 or 0.0.1 to 0.2.0, which is a significant
that's a
numerical increase.
That's a lot of numerical increases there. That's like a whole act and maybe a boss.
Maybe more, yeah.
Who knows? Yeah.
Be an expansion. That's all we know. Watch, it's just like they added an item and they added a legendary.
Guys, we're gonna fuck with everybody. Let's just make it 0.2.
Yeah. But it's good. So which is interesting considering, the time 5 days ago, this was submitted. So it's interesting. I guess some work is still being done.
Where does this happen? Hold on. Let me pull this up. Where do they get these version numbers from? How does somebody know that?
Blizzard CDN gets updated, and then I guess it gets data
pushed
mined
out to who? Yeah.
To the CDN. It pushes to the CDN, and there's probably a data miner that monitors it.
Yeah. But it should be encrypted as hell, though. How are they getting that? I don't know. I guess you're right. So, yeah. Did we talk about
Immortal?
The Immortal?
No, this is it. Okay, so
delayed.
Yeah. Wyatt tweeted this out, and Blizzard followed up with an article. Basically, is Diablo Immortal is getting delayed. Did they talk about until when? The first half. The game is now planned for release in the first half of 2022, instead of, which I don't know. It's probably the right play. I mean, I'm a huge fan. I know you are too. Of games just take the time you need instead of rushing to get out, and it's a shit show.
That's fine. I mean, I guess the difference is to me is I'm not overly stoked about it. I'm I can't wait. You know what I mean? It's this is if this were D4, I'd be super bumming. I'd be like, damn, dude, we gotta wait. Even though I would be in favor of it. But it's kind of crazy that they announced this in 2018 and now it's gonna drop in 22. That's 4 years, man. 4 years
from the announcement.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to me, man, I mean, we know that Blizzard is slow. We know they're super slow with their releases, but I honestly, after playing it in 2018 at BlizzCon, I expected it in 2019 at the latest, So I'm super surprised, but they took a lot of feedback from the PTRs that they did, the technical tests and alpha tests and all that, and they're implementing some stuff. If you jump down a little bit, let me pull this thing up.
This thing's interesting. So it says player versus environment. We saw players yearn for more long-term PvE goals, which I definitely took away from phase 2 of Immortal, and when we had Echo on. So we'll be adding PvE-centric raids in the Heliquary. Could they make it easier word, please? Heliquary bosses are now designed as a challenge for 8-player raids to overcome. So that's interesting. But even that was still a one-time deal, I think. You could go, I don't remember exactly, but I don't know. Is that enough PvE content? I don't know.
I don't think so, but we'll see, what they do. And they say that the bounty system, they're going to rework the bounty system a little bit and make that better, which is cool. To be fair, I'm excited about the controller support, more so because with controller support and then being able to run it on BlueStacks or something, you could basically make this a PC game at that point. Kind of. You know what I mean? You can run it on your PC, you got a controller. It's
console.
I don't have to use my phone. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I'm now officially slightly interested. Yeah. Whereas before I didn't have any interest to play on my phone. I tried. I even bought hardware. I spent $40 on a cable and a controller thing just to try to play it. And then ultimately at the end of the day, I was like, man, I just don't like playing on my phone. So now that they've added controller support, and I already know BlueStacks will be able to people make it work. So I'm a little bit more interested now than I was before.
I agree. I think that this is probably going to be a big win if they can figure it out. Yeah.
Just go ahead and port it to Switch. What are you guys doing?
Yeah.
Stop fucking around. You know what I mean? Like unless the Switch isn't powerful enough to run it, which could be the case. So it ran pretty bad on some older hardware from what I've understood. Like my iPads, it ran horrible on slightly older iPads.
And I want to read this bit about character progression because I think it's important. Okay. So in general, on the gear front, we're valuing more ways to make top tier and legendary gear more exciting and sought after, especially for players who've surpassed max level on their characters. After hitting level cap, Paragon levels increase your character's power. In Diablo Immortal, we want the endgame progression to be worthwhile, offering unique bonuses in the form of stat boosts and special perks. However, having higher Paragon should also reap better rewards. We are implementing a system to enable players with higher Paragon levels or players taking on higher difficulties to receive more powerful items. Which is, I don't know. The idea of Paragon, I think, is...
Yeah.
I think that they shouldn't even be using the word Paragon at the end of the day. They should completely call it something else because there's way too much negative context around the word Paragon from Diablo 3, in my opinion.
Yeah, I like gear progressing your characters. I don't know, man. See, I have such a WoW mentality though that I don't necessarily know if that's good for an ARPG. But I've always been a fan of your characters' power coming from talent choices and then your gear choices. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like just farming stats basically is what you're doing with the Paragon system. You're farming, at least in D3, you're farming main stat, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's not fun. No, it's not rewarding. It's not exciting. There's nothing about that that's fun. And I don't want to see that in any form. Even if they change it a little bit, it's like, oh, well, instead of getting main stat, you're going to get like a new talent perk. Okay, but so I'm going to farm to get more talent perks. But when does it stop? You know what I mean? Like, what's the cutoff? When does my actual progression and gear drops start to make me powerful? When does that make me badass?
Right.
That's kind of what I want.
And there's so many different avenues, like in POE, right? Like there's obviously you get it from gear. You can continue to level to 100, which is very difficult. But each of those levels is very impactful for your character. But also like there's the like in-game progression that's happening, like that don't have any effect whatsoever on your power, but like it's like a completionist. I must doing your Atlas is like, it's very addictive to like do your Atlas and like fill out your Atlas passive trees.
But your character progression matters to that because it affects the speed at which you can progress your Atlas too. And so that's like a rewarding system that's rewarding another system.
Right. Yeah.
And and so those double down. And like that's what you need. You need your character progression to give you power, which is going to let you complete something else that maybe doesn't give you power, but advances your gameplay mechanics somehow.
Yeah.
And so like, I agree with that 100%.
I think this whole idea of like, okay, hit level 40 and then you get Paragon points is like, that was like the D3's biggest downfall. And so even using this word Paragon, I think is just a bad idea.
Yeah.
You should stay away from that. But
we'll ultimately see what they come. I'm glad that they're going to focus a little bit more on PvE because I agree with all the feedback that I read and got. It seemed like the end game was completely PvP focused. And hence the name of the game and the name of the systems matched up. Like it was, Shadows and Immortals, and the game is literally called Diablo Immortal.
Right.
So I think that was their focus originally. I think their focus was a PvP centric kind of game. But I do want to see more PvE content in it or be focused a little bit higher. So
yeah, agreed. But D2R fans rejoice. Because Pez came out and says nothing is delayed. The beta is still in August. We'll have more news soon. So it sounds like D2R is still very much on schedule. So hopefully Vicarious is unaffected by.
That's like really soon.
But there is a Vicarious guy in the Cosby photo. So I don't know.
Shit. Yeah, I mean it's August now, so the next 3 weeks we should get. Beta?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe. Soon, TM.
Right.
So, but this is really interesting. So, Filthy posted there's a PTR pop-up coming August 5th, which will focus on that freezing issue that you and I have been talking about for the past few seasons. So, hopefully, they're going to diagnose what the hell's going on there and get it working. And so, we don't have to deal with that crazy disable sound issue anymore.
I didn't see that, actually. That's really cool. What is that in the schedule? I'm interested to read it.
Yeah, it's Thursday, August 5th. They're going to PTR Pop-Up. I don't know if I did throw that in the schedule, actually. No, I did not.
That's fun. So read it to me, Daddy.
PTR Pop-Up is coming August 5th. The focus of the PTR is to get details on what is causing the lag spikes of the game freeze for players. This has been a recurring issue for players, and we're hoping to gather information with intent to fix this inconvenience and improve game stability for Diablo 3 players. To be transparent, we're reproducing the issue has provided our internal teams with unique challenges, and with this PTR pop-up, we've incorporated new player log capabilities with D3 debug TXT to dive into the issue with all of you. We're hoping that our collective actions will help you contribute to fix all for the players. Dude, I'm going to do this tomorrow. Wait, no, it's today.
Yeah,
it's today?
Oh, it is today. Do it now. Everybody listening. What are you doing? Do that PTR.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I hope that they get some info. I completely missed that, but I hope they can get the diagnostic info they need. Honestly, all you Firebird wizards out there, yo, this is your time, dude. You guys, wizards break the game. Like, it's so crazy. You get 4 wizards on a team and you start doing like 120s or something, it's just done. Like, the game's completely smashed.
Mm-hmm.
So that should hopefully get them some debug info they need. So that's cool. I mean, obviously they're trying to fix it. I don't know how much progress they're having, but they're aware and they're working on it for us.
I mean, they got talented engineers, so I'm sure if they get just more data, they'll be able to hopefully lock it down.
Figure out what's going on. Yeah. Cool.
And that's kind of it on the Diablo front, unless you had anything else.
That's all I got for the blue team. Yeah.
Yeah. Path of Exile, I mean, still the kind of general consensus is, Reddit's still freaking out about the damage nerfs, and there's still stuff that's like doing okay, and so most people are just like playing that. Like, a lot of people are playing it like the Spectral Shield Throw and
the ones like that creep through the nerf.
The ones that kind of creep through the nerfs, so that they can just like kind of still enjoy the game as it kind of was. But yeah, a lot of builds, quote unquote, dead for a lot of people, and a lot of people are not happy with these damage nerfs, which they are tremendous. I myself am definitely going slower. I'm actually, the combo that I picked is actually doing okay through the nerfs. I'd be curious to see like what one of my past builds is doing, but this one, like, I picked Blade Trap, and I'm doing like a poison Blade Trap, and it's actually doing decently well because Blade Trap's quite good and poison survived. So I think those two in combination are maybe giving me an inaccurate idea of like how bad the nerfs are, because I feel kind of fine at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and then you posted this article about Steam numbers, I think.
Yeah, so this is just a quick little Reddit thread, but it says, like, historically, if you look at the image, you can see that on the left-hand side, it's like, all of PoE's reviews over the history of time, and then like the last recent reviews, and how the trend is negative, man. The game went from being very positive reviewed to mixed, and I think that people are taking the opportunity to shit on the game right now because they're not happy with the nerfs,
Yeah, I concur with this. I think that, I don't know, people need to like chill out a minute, I think, before they like go on their soapbox of I'm quitting the game forever. I don't think that PoE got it 100% right this patch. I'm still confident in GDG as a game development company that they will continue to iterate and like have a good game for us to play. I still am enjoying the game of Path of Exile in spite of the nerfs, in spite of, I think one of the biggest decisions I didn't like was the decision to rip out the Harvest, and like how good that was. And I didn't like that at all, but I'm still playing the game. I still think it's a fantastic game. It is still, without question, unequivocally the best ARPG on the market right now. Maybe still one of the best games if you're like, a hardcore gamer. I don't think there's a lot of games on the internet you can really dump your time into like you can Path of Exile and it be as rewarding. So I don't know. At the end of the day, I understand people get upset when games make changes and they fear change or they don't like the changes, but like, just have some faith in GG, I guess. I still think that we're going to be playing this game. We're going to be talking about this game for years to come, and fingers crossed it'll be in a better place.
It's okay not to like stuff too.
Yeah. It's okay to take seasons off,
Yeah.
Literally, it's fine.
It's okay to burn out,
Totally.
Like, burnout's a thing that people experience too, myself included. It's like
Yeah,
your opinion's influenced a little bit if you've experiencing some burnout versus somebody who's brand new to the game and you're still learning and this and that. So
totally.
I think GGG's is got a plan. I think a lot of this is leading up to POE 2. I think a lot of this is like we see the bigger picture that you guys don't know about yet, and we can't tell you. But I have faith, and unless POE 2 launches and it's a complete disaster in a horrible game, I think that this is all kind of setting up that drop, man. And I don't think it's going to. I think POE 2 is going to drop and be good.
Yeah. And in other news, and the reason I wanted to bring this up, so Amazon delays the New World again, which is 100% the right play. The game's garbage.
I've gotten so much flack for my opinion on that, and it's like hold on, man. Like, you and I played the alpha.
I even had friends, IRL friends, reach out to me and be like, "Bro, you have to play New World with me. I'm so addicted to this game." I'm like,
and
how?
So people are telling me this new beta is better, and I'm like, well, how? There's only like what, 9 skills. There's like 3 weapons and 3 skills each weapon, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah. And I go, okay. And so are you still launching fireballs across the map trying to hit something? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, that's garbage. That's garbage ass combat. Like, it's uninspired skills. And they're just arguing with me that it's fun, man. And people are like, it's a different game. So I'm going to continue to call the alpha that I played garbage, but I will, if they release another beta, I will try it again. Okay. I will at least say I'll try it again, just because so many people have been like, it's so much better this time around. I don't see how it could be better.
Right.
But they're saying it's so much better this time
mess.
around. It was horrible.
Not only just combat was a total joke and a shit show, but like going to towns, like it was like unorganized, like quests were like all fucked, and like it was just a clusterfuck of nothingness, and like crafting was miserable, and it was just it was like you were truly playing like not even an alpha, like a sampled test, like a version 001. Yeah.
But like I said, people keep telling me, no, you got to try it. It's better. It's better. It's better. And I'm like, what's better? Did you play both? Like, what's better about it? And I can't get definitive answers, but people are just saying it's more fun. So I'm like, okay, so I'll try it. I'll try it again.
Yeah, so. Maybe one day, but delayed nonetheless, which is probably the right play, because I assume this honeymoon phase will wear off, with New World, and people are like, oh yeah, it is actually still kind of garbage. So
they only delayed it a month.
Yeah,
like that's
it's not that much, right?
Grand scheme of things, that's honestly not very much time. It's like, if you're gonna delay it, like, at least give yourself time to get it fixed. So whatever the problem is, it must.
Yeah. The reason I brought this up is because people were saying that, oh, it delayed New World, so what does that mean for Lost Ark? I don't know that it means anything personally. I'd be surprised.
Yeah, I don't think it would matter. We haven't even got the alpha for Lost Ark yet, or the beta or whatever they're going to let us play.
Mm-hmm.
So, no announcement on that front. I actually am excited to get that. I don't know. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm excited for the release, because that probably won't play the beta.
I don't think I'll play beta, but yeah. Agreed. Fingers crossed. Soon.
Yeah.
TM.
Soon, I hope. Well, not too soon. You want to be able to play it.
Oh yeah, true.
You're gonna have to recover.
Yeah. Smilegate, reach out to me and work with my personal schedule.
Yeah, please. Let's get into some Twitter questions.
Do it.
Man.
Do it.
If you guys want to submit questions to the podcast, you can submit them at ThaPChild or at Lord__Fluffy. You can join our Discords. Discords each have new meta sections. The first question comes from Rank 1 Civ 5. He says, "What are your guys' favorite archetypes to play as in ARPGs? If there were no restrictions on what you could be." Mine is always the highest DPS range character.
Good question. I always, I think we both agree on this maybe a little bit, but I always kind of like gravitate towards like the just the darker classes, whatever that really means. Like, I don't really, like, if I were to like be able to be like, okay, this is the kind of archetype I want in Diablo 4, I don't know that that's like Necromancer. I played Necromancer in Diablo because it's the closest to like the archetype I would want to play, especially compared to like all the others, like Barbarian, Amazon, all that stuff doesn't interest me. Like I only like the dark stuff. And so like the Necromancer, I always gravitate towards, but I don't even like pets. I've never really liked pets. I've never liked minions and having minions. So I would say I'm, more like a Shadow Knight like would be like my kind of thing, like EverQuest style.
Yeah, I agree. I'm the same. I like to play the darker classes as well, and I also tend to favor melee classes. I don't have a problem playing caster. I like caster, but just generally, I gravitate to melee.
Yeah,
big two-hand wielding. I'm always uber aggressive in every game I play. I hate to sit back and snipe or camp. I'm never a sniper in shooters. I'm always Rambo. I always want to go in and just charge in and go crazy. So classes that can do that. But yeah, usually melee. To add on what Fluff said, dark archetypes that are melee is usually my go-to.
Yeah, concur.
Coviticus says, Fluff, what's the origin of your name and PChild where you share the alien story you alluded to last podcast?
I guess it's been a minute since we told the story. I'll try to like give the clip notes real quick because I want to respect the the forum of the Q&A. So I was on a Halo team and like we would always win the local tournaments. And so like the guy that was running it was like, well, you guys can play, but you have to split up. Like you can't play with your team, but you can play with your friends. And so I was like, okay, cool. And so I ended up playing with my friends that tournament. And so like we all made up like little cutesy names. Like I was, because in Halo 1 it said you were killed by Fluffy or you were killed by like a marshmallow. So we just all had like kind of fun cutesy names. And then we're playing that tournament and we were doing okay. It was me and like my best friend at the time, and he wasn't the best player in the world, but like he was okay. And so we made it to like the quarterfinals or whatever. And people didn't know because I was Special K. The people didn't know that I was going by Fluffy. And so throughout the tournament, I kept hearing people like scream because people would get pretty mad at these tournaments. But they'd be like saying shit like, who the fuck is Fluffy and why does he keep killing me? And I was just like dying laughing. And so like also around that time, Special K became like kind of known as like a date rape drug. So I was kind of on the prowl for a new name anyways. So I started going by Fluffy because I just loved that so much. And then over the time, the queen herself knighted me. And I was given
I think Special K is kind of fitting personally.
Because I'm a date rape drug? Cool. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. More misogynistic behavior. Making jokes about date rape? PChild? Jesus Christ. I gotta
find your name. You picked it, not me.
Next week, we're going to see on Twitter that you're stepping down as co-host for the New Meta podcast.
No, because of Fluff's origin. What stuff you did 20 years ago. My alien story, man, that's a long story. I think Fluff and I will probably do some kind of spooky story thing for Halloween. I think we should do that.
Okay.
So,
can do.
I will. If you catch me in stream sometime, Coviticus, I will give you cliff notes there if you want to know that bad. But I'll save that. I think I'm gonna save it for like a Halloween spooky story one. So, yeah, right. Mr. Machine says, "What's the one thing that you can never say no to?"
I have a really hard, like if someone like was like, let's order pizza, I don't know that I could ever be like, no, I can't. I'm on keto.
Even if you're dieting or whatever, you still are like, okay.
I don't think I could. Because I would be like, oh, well, I'll get like a cauliflower crust pizza or something like that. But
yeah.
So
I'm with you. I'm a big pizza fan. To me, it's man, I love donuts, dude. They're like my jam.
So gross.
No, they're so good. And it's like it's hard. It's really hard for me to be like, nope, I'm gonna pass.
I eat a donut and I just get that immediate like sugar rush, and it's not like a pleasant sugar rush. It's like a immediate.
They're horrible for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're completely. You feel like crap after you eat them.
Horrible.
And you feel guilty after you eat them.
Immediately after eating them.
But in the moment, they're so good, dude. It's like a one night stand.
I just remember, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't remember the one night stand after you had the one night stand. Of course, you remember. Like,
yeah, but
yeah,
it's like
fun
next
at the
time you're having the one night stand, you still don't say no. You're still not like,
of course you do, because you remember the first one.
No,
you gotta learn from your mistakes. What are you doing?
Sometimes, I mean, just the thing, dude.
Yeah. That's why I see donuts and they smell delicious, they look delicious, and I know like that first bite's okay. But I had that very vivid memory of like I just eat them and then I just feel like total fucking ass. Not even like the next day or hours later. It's like immediately after. I feel like shit. And it's the same way like one night stands. So like I stay away from those too.
You try, right? How have you been doing lately, bud?
Next question. Can we take the next question, please?
What I thought.
Let's keep moving. Let's keep the momentum going of the podcast, please.
Okay. Killer QT says, in what way do you still not act your age?
That's a good question.
I would say it's probably not very typical for people my age to be playing video games.
That can't be true.
You think?
Look at our demographics on like information on like YouTube, Twitch. It's all like people our age. It's like 27 to like 52. Like it's like 99% of our demographic.
You think we're all gamers? Our generation's growing up. Nintendo generation's growing up.
Totally.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Maybe there's like just a lot of closet gamers out there because most people that I meet, coworkers I've had, like that are even in my age group, they don't game. And if they do, weird. they're not gamers for real. Like it's like, what do you play? Oh,
Okay, Mr. Variety Streamer, you pump your judgy brakes on other people's video game choice. All right, you use time out for a second.
I play the Harry Potter Go, whatever the hell it's called. What's that called?
I have no idea what you're even talking about.
It's like Pokemon Go, but it's Harry Potter, dude.
God damn. So you like wave your phone like a wand, like Expelliarmus, and you like catch a Pokemon or something? Jesus Christ.
I don't know how you catch it, dude. I haven't played it. I'm not sure. Listen, I'm sure there's people out there that are playing it right now. I'm sorry. Don't be mad at me. I don't know. What do you got? What's something that's
I mean, honestly, like for my age, I'm a very anti-white picket fencer. Like I don't want kids. I don't really want to get married. I mean, I'm not completely opposed to the idea of marriage, but it's hard to see that my desire for that going up. I'm very not my age in that regard, I think. But there's people out there like me, like probably 2% of like the total population of people my age are like not married and don't want to get married or have kids and stuff like that. So
okay, I give you that. I think that's a pretty good one.
And I can't take anything seriously, like literally. That's a problem.
Maddie the Beast says, if you could cancel anything, what would you cancel?
Twitch.tv/ThaPChild. No.
So toxic, dude.
I know. Cancel anything.
It would be if I could cancel, I would cancel culture. Like, is that a thing? Can I say that? Because I think it's total BS. I think it's
Snapchat.
Snapchat?
Snapchat.
Oh, dude. You're ruining the lives of like so many teenagers out there that are like Snapchatting their booze right now.
I know how you were formed, Snapchat. You're not fooling anybody. Okay.
Right. You made an app to make sexting.
Yeah.
You made a sexting
untrackable
app, and you disguised it. Disguised it.
And then as like 2 years later, you put cute like face filters and like little kids on your app.
You disguise it, and then you target kids, and then you make billions and billions of dollars. You fucking geniuses, you. God, they're so smart, Fluff. So smart. Some bullshit. I think that was all the questions we had.
God damn, easy
peasy.
Did you have a PChild loves?
I got a question. I got a question for you. Yeah, this is gonna kind of be my PChild loves.
Okay.
So
where are you going with this?
All right, I'm in a spot. I'm in a pickle.
Okay, fire.
Okay. So P-Wifey is really
great marriage advice. This is my area of expertise. Here we go.
Trust me. Whatever you say, I'm going to do the opposite of. Okay. So she's mad at me because my son came and told me something in private that he didn't want me to share with her. Okay. He's like, I'm going to tell you this, but you can't tell mom.
Okay.
And it's like, so I can't be like, no, don't tell me, because like I
Right.
need him to be able to come to me as an adult and tell me things, right?
Right. And you want to form a bond with your son. You
Yeah,
know that-
yeah, I get it. So he tells me something, and this is a pretty serious thing. And I'm like, I'm afraid if I go tell the wife that if she rats me out, because I don't know how she would take it. I'm pretty sure not well. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure she's going to be pretty mad.
Must be pretty bad.
And so if she goes, and if I tell her, and then he finds out that I told her, then he's never going to tell me shit ever again.
Yeah.
And like, I want him to have somebody to come to when he has problems. At the same time, now the wife's mad because she's like, you should tell me these things. Like, we're, you know, married, we're together. This is, you know, this is a big thing. I should know. So it's like, fuck. You know what I mean? Like
Totally.
It's just, it's like a lose-lose. I don't see how I win in this scenario. You know what I mean? So what would you do if you're in this scenario?
Listen,
what would you
the
do?
scenario is this. At the end of the day, someone important to you came to you and said, I have something to tell you, and I don't want you to repeat it. I think you respect that regardless of who that person is. Yeah. And then if someone gets upset with you because they felt that you're closer to them, therefore they should have that right to have that information, I think this is a little silly. It's a little silly. I get where she's coming from, but at the end of the day, you're being a good human being because like you're just staying true to your word. Like, I'm not going to tell anyone because you asked me not to. But two, like, it is your son and you are trying to form like that trust, that bond, you know, as a father. Like, you want to have like you said, like, you want him to be able to come to you with those issues and not have fear of being ratted out to mom, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, man, it sucks though. So it's a thing. It's a bad scenario to be.
Yeah, it is. It's a lose-lose. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lose-lose, man. I feel like I'm in a lose-lose. So
totally.
So you know, just is what it is. So that's my loves this week. I love these scenarios. You know what I mean? So
right on.
What you got, man? What you got for some?
Oh
some
man,
fluff hate?
So many things I hate every day. I mean, I hate that. You know, I've heard some things recently, and I hate this idea of, I don't know, like, I can't even say it because everyone's gonna know what I'm talking about, so I can't go down that road. But it's just stupid. People like disappoint you. I mean, it's no surprise that, you know, exes will always disappoint you. Just why they're exes, right? At the end of the day, 1000%. Why they're your ex? Oh, because they're disappointing, right? But you just hear stuff and you're like, God damn, like what the fuck are you on about? And yeah, anyways. Okay. I can't even say more because it's just stupid. I don't even want to, I hate that I even brought it up because it doesn't deserve attention. So
I'm going to ask questions now for sure.
Cool.
I'm going to be like, yo, tell me, so what was it after the pod? The post podcast? You know what I mean? That's it, man. That's all we had for the pod today. Thanks for tuning in, guys. If you want to catch more of me, you can catch me at ThaPChild on all the places.
Yeah. I'm Lord_Fluffy. Double those underscores on Twitter. We'll be back minus our co-host, who will be stepping down for misogynistic behavior next week. We'll see you guys.
Fluff was definitely canceled.
Next week.
I mean, should I call you Special K? I don't know.
Okay. Chill out, dude.